Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Cycle 5858. I am Amish Cycle. Foreign news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please, let's go to the headlines.
Tonight, breaking news, indicted. Another critic of President Trump indicted. The third indictment in 3 weeks. This time, Trump's one-time national security advisor, John Bolton, accused of mishandling classified documents. It comes after former FBI Director James Comey, also critical of Trump, indicted. And New York Attorney General Letitia James indicted too. We'll go live to Pierre Thomas. Also breaking tonight, the awful images coming in right now. There is an extraordinary rescue effort underway. The devastating storm that hit Alaska, entire towns have been wiped away. Hundreds now being airlifted, including families and children. Backup and obvious rescues underway. Tonight, after the newest strike on a boat off Venezuela, there is news 3 American B-52 bombers are now flying near the Venezuelan coast. President Trump also authorizing covert CIA missions inside Venezuela. Arthur Radin standing by with late reporting what's behind all of this. Tonight, President Trump revealing he spoke with Vladimir Putin today for more than 2 hours, saying they will have another major meeting after their Alaska summit, this time in Hungary. The president saying he asked Putin today, how would you like it if I gave U.S. Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine to use against Russia? Tonight, dramatic images of tear gas and violent clashes with federal agents in Chicago. And this evening, a judge now ordering those agents to wear body cameras. That judge saying she was startled by the images of the clashes. In Philadelphia tonight, the desperate search for a missing healthcare worker, last seen leaving for work nearly 2 weeks ago. And what we've learned tonight, a passenger jet forced to make an emergency landing. Authorities say a 61-year-old woman began assaulting crew members. Tonight there is breaking news as we come on. We have learned KISS co-founder Ace Frehley has died. And this evening, Diane Keaton's cause of death now revealed. What her family is now saying. And tonight here, the new and deeply moving tribute from actor Al Pacino. What he's now saying about Diane Keaton on screen, off screen, and what he reveals in this raw and heartfelt goodbye. From ABC News World Headquarters.
Let's bring in Chief Border Patrol Agent Greg Bavino. I mean, it is actually hard to believe what we're reporting here. I mean, in J.B. Pritzker's Illinois, an illegal aid alien is working as a sworn-in police officer with a badge, with a gun, and a pension. Your reaction?
Well, Sandra and John, it's good to be with you again. Thanks for having me. It's unbelievable that the state of Illinois and Governor J.B. Pritzker would hand an illegal alien a weapon. Title 18 U.S.C. Code 922 says it's a felony for an illegal alien to possess or own a firearm. And yet here we have an illegal alien with a firearm in the state of Illinois, as per J.B. Pritzker and those leaders. It's absolutely amazing what's going on here in Illinois. We do have a crime problem here. This is yet another example of the out-of-control crime problem, this time perpetrated by the state in Illinois.
This is J.B. Pritzker, however. This is earlier today, Greg, claiming that it's President Trump's actions that are bad, that they echo authoritarianism as he is deploying his policies. Listen.
Trump is looking to cause mayhem and lay the foundation for actions far more craven. We cannot accept any of this as normal. And we cannot remain silent. We must continue to call this what it is, a dangerous power grab that echoes the rise of authoritarianism and authoritarian regimes throughout world history.
For a second there, you thought he woke up and he was actually talking about this illegal alien from Montenegro who was sworn in as a police officer. But no, he's talking about President Donald Trump, Greg.
Sandra, at this point, I think J.B. Pritzker has more in common with drug cartels, terrorist drug cartels, than he does with American citizens. He calls us terrorists, thugs. All the while, there's $50,000 bounties on the heads of American law enforcement and he takes this approach. I think he's got more in common, again, with terrorist cartels than he does his own citizens. He never ceases to amaze me. There's no telling what's going to come out of his mouth, and he didn't disappoint this morning.
Well, speaking of what comes out of his mouth, here he is claiming that your actions, Greg Bovino, are illegal. Listen.
Right now, I'm focused on running for re-election as governor. That's the only thing I'm focused on politically, and of course, most importantly, in my job as governor today, protecting the people of Illinois from the unlawful acts of Stephen Miller.
Breaking news tonight, John Bolton indicted by a federal grand jury. The former Trump national security advisor turned fierce critic, now facing federal charges. Bolton charged with mishandling classified information. The indictment after the FBI raided his home and office, and the president publicly called for his prosecution. The accusation tonight that he shared top secret information through his AOL account. Also tonight, the second summit, President Trump announcing he plans to meet with Russian leader Vladimir Putin once again, and the key weapon Ukrainian President Zelensky will ask for tomorrow as he meets the president face-to-face. The shocking military shakeup, the admiral overseeing those strikes against alleged drug-running boats in the Caribbean, suddenly announcing he's retiring. The dramatic rescues after a massive storm sent floods sweeping through parts of Alaska. Homes washing away, hundreds packed into military planes in one of the largest airlift operations ever there. Is the AI bubble about to burst on Wall Street? The new warning signs, and is your 401k safe? The cost of denial, the nightly news viewer who saw our series and reached out after his procedure was denied twice. What happened after we investigated? The cause of Diane Keaton's death revealed, and the sumo spectacle taking over London. We take you along the rare visit that has stars of the sport snapping photos, greeting fans, even crossing Abbey Road. Nightly News starts right now. This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas. And good evening. We are coming on the air tonight with more breaking news. Former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton, who became a fierce critic of the president, has just been indicted.
Hello, a very good morning. It's 6 o'clock. Coming up on the show today, after the Gaza ceasefire, Donald Trump turns his attention back to Ukraine, planning a second summit with Vladimir Putin.
Plus, in Formula One, Lando Norris says he'll face consequences for his collision with McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri at the most recent Grand Prix in Singapore. It's Friday, the 17th of October. As Donald Trump prepares to meet Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House, he's planning a second summit with the Russian leader to try to stop the war in Ukraine. The post office victims who fear they could die before they get a settlement.
The last thing I want to do is to not be here when it's sorted out, if you like, for my family's sake.
The wrong decisions. Keir Starmer enters the row over Israeli fans being banned from a match at Aston Villa. Banks are told to do more to protect people from romance scams, which last year cost victims more than £100 million.
And in sport, Women's Champions League holders Arsenal picked up their first win of this season's competition, beating Benfica 2-0 in Lisbon last night.
Hello, very good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Breakfast this morning. Donald Trump is hoping to...
This is DW News, and these are our top stories. Donald Trump has said he will meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin within the next 2 weeks in Hungary to try and find an end to the war in Ukraine. The U.S. president made the announcement after a phone call with Putin on Thursday. It came the day before Trump is due to meet with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky in Washington. The U.S. Justice Department has charged former National Security Advisor John Bolton with mishandling classified national defense information. Bolton's indictment marks the third time in recent weeks that the department has filed criminal charges against a former member of Trump's administration who has voiced criticism against him. Bolton's lawyers deny that he engaged in any wrongdoing. Panic broke out at a stadium in Kenya after police fired on crowds who had gathered to view the coffin of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Several people, thousands, fled. Earlier, overcrowding forced authorities to close Nairobi's main airport. Odinga died from a heart attack while in India. This is DW News from Berlin. You'll find more online at dw.com.
Thursday night, Ottawa's proposal to get tougher on crime.
We're fixing ineffective policies from the past.
The plan to crack down on violent and repeat offenders. The new development in the West Bank, crushing the dreams of a Palestinian statehood as the U.S. president issues a fresh ultimatum to Hamas. Back in the NHL after the World Junior sex assault trial, the team that just signed one of the acquitted, and why. Plus, the Blue Jays bounce back.
And everybody's gearing up for a win tonight.
The hopes the team can maintain momentum.
Global National with Donna Friesen, reporting tonight, and Gaviola.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced plans to make sweeping changes to this country's criminal justice system in a bid to make good on campaign promises to be tough on crime. A cornerstone of his proposal is a new bail reform bill taking aim at serious crimes like assault and theft. As David Aiken reports in our top story tonight, the move appears designed to counter long-standing.
Hello and welcome to the programme. You're watching Daybreak here on France 24. My name's Peter O'Brien. Here are the headlines. Ukraine's president goes to Washington this Friday in search of long-range missiles, while Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin agree to meet in Budapest. Hamas says it's still looking for the bodies of hostages under the rubble in Gaza, with 19 of them still unaccounted for. A row with Israel over the ceasefire is getting worse. And an army colonel will be sworn in Madagascar's leader after a military power grab sent the president fleeing. Also coming up, his outrageous guitar skills rivaled his outrageous outfits. Kiss band member Ace Frehley has died, age 74. This is Daybreak on France 24.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Israeli officials say they'll further delay the reopening of the Rafah border crossing between Egypt and the Gaza Strip as Israel continues to severely limit humanitarian aid to more than 2 million Palestinians still suffering from hunger and malnutrition, as well as severe shortages of medicine, clean water, and other basic goods. Meanwhile, Al Jazeera reports Israeli fires killed at least 3 Palestinians so far today, despite the ceasefire deal that went into effect last week. Israeli officials have threatened to end the truce if Hamas doesn't return all the bodies of the dead Israeli hostages. On Wednesday, Hamas said it had turned over 2 more bodies, bringing the total number to 9, but said it would need specialized equipment to search through the rubble to find the bodies of 19 remaining captives, many believe killed by Israeli strikes. The Israeli military is not allowing in that specialized equipment. Meanwhile, thousands of Palestinians who were forced by Israel to flee their neighborhoods are returning to find their homes in rubble. This is displaced Gaza City resident Al-Abed Al-Fioumi.
There's no work, no food, no drinks, no housing, and now winter is coming. By God Almighty, I'm telling you, I swear we don't have blankets. I have nothing at all. I left and my house was destroyed, and I'm still...
This is Asia Now.
Good afternoon. It is 12 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 9:30 a.m. in New Delhi, 11 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Yasmin Yonkers at this hour. A temporary truce along the Pakistan-Afghan border ends later today. Kabul alleges Islamabad launched drone strikes before the pause. Pakistan has not responded, but earlier said a permanent ceasefire is up to the Taliban. Donald Trump plans a second summit with Vladimir Putin in Budapest, citing great progress on Ukraine talks. And he's set to meet Vladimir Zelensky, who's expected to push for Tomahawk missiles that could reach Russian cities. And Singapore's key exports surprisingly expanded in September, reversing the double-digit decline a month earlier. Last month's showing beat expectations, driven mainly by the jump in electronic shipments to key markets.
Season on ABC iView. Today, another bid to end the war in Ukraine. Donald Trump to meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin in the coming weeks. Trump critic and former US National Security Advisor John Bolton criminally indicted on federal charges. Victoria's Premier sickened after CCTV shows the moment a woman is randomly stabbed in Melbourne CBD. And Ace Frehley, the lead guitarist and co-founder of the glam rock band Kiss, dies aged 74. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Melissa McKay. The US president says he'll soon meet face-to-face with his Russian counterpart, this time in Budapest, after a 2-hour phone call with Vladimir Putin, one Donald Trump has described as productive. Fresh.
I just think he's a bad person. A former national security advisor accused of a national security breach. John Bolton indicted today on charges he illegally stored and transmitted national defense information.
Also tonight, after a lengthy phone call with Vladimir Putin, President Trump says they will hold a summit in Hungary to try to end the war in Ukraine.
We want to get peace.
These were predators and they were sophisticated.
High-tech crime. Robbery suspects accused of using an AirTag to track their victim's car. Then
the wife opens her door and she's immediately attacked. And a movie theater where everyone's a star.
They see me, they understand me, and they accept me.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson.
For the third time in 4 weeks, the Justice Department has secured a criminal indictment against a political opponent of President Trump.
A federal grand jury in Maryland today indicted the president's first-term national security advisor, John Bolton, for allegedly storing and transmitting classified information.
Justice correspondent Scott McFarland is in Washington with the details. Scott, this case is different from the others.
This one allegedly includes top-secret defense information. John Bolton tonight and his defense lawyer both say no crime was committed, and they look forward to proving that. But in the meantime, he's a criminal defendant facing the prospect of prison time.
2 months after federal agents searched John Bolton's home in Maryland and his office in Washington, a grand jury has indicted Bolton on 18 counts, including transmission of national defense information and unlawful retention of national defense information. The charging documents allege the former national security advisor shared more than 1,000 pages of highly sensitive information about his day-to-day activities in the White House, including classified national defense information.
Africa News. The news
At least 2 people have been killed in Nairobi on Thursday after Kenyan police fired at crowds of mourners gathered to see the body of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. The politician died on Wednesday in India and his body flew back to Kenya on Thursday morning. Odinga's casket was exhibited at a stadium in the capital ahead of his funeral over the weekend. Tensions rose when the crowd surged and tried to breach a gate in the stadium. Police fired both live bullets and tear gas.
What we are seeing is a democracy. We are so peaceful. People are waiting to see the Mzee, but it became chaotic when the policemen started this rally.
We are in pain. It is hurting us so much. We are hurting deeply. People have been beaten and killed, and we had just come to mourn Baba. Police intervention dispersed mourners who fled towards the stadium gates. A stampede erupted, leaving an unknown number of people injured. The public viewing eventually took place after Khan returned in the evening.
There was a mild chaos at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on Thursday morning as a mammoth crowd overwhelmed security forces gaining access to the facility to receive former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's body. The crowds are said to have breached the VIP gates moments after the plane landed, forcing the military, National Youth Service and police officers to form a close barrier around the plane and Raila's body. We are here because we have come to receive the body of Raila Amolo Odinga, our father. We are so sad in Kenya. In the entire country, we are grieving. We loved Raila so much. He was the defender of the people. He was our mentor and the person who loved peace. Even if Raila would lose and see Kenya burning, he will enter into an agreement with the government, not for his own benefit, but because he loved our country. And I want to tell people, Raila has not died. He has left us with his blood and spirit, and we will take care of Kenya. Although Raila never succeeded at becoming president, for many, he was a revered figure and a statesman whose activism helped steer Kenya into a vibrant multi-party democracy.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met with his Moroccan counterpart Nasser Bourita for bilateral talks in Moscow on Thursday. The 2 diplomats signed a memorandum of understanding on the creation of a joint committee to deepen cooperation between Russia and Morocco. Lavrov and Bourita also discussed the war in Gaza. They expressed satisfaction with the ongoing implementation of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas.
Марокко традиционно играет очень важную роль.
Morocco has traditionally played a very important role in promoting efforts to achieve a peaceful settlement of the Palestinian issue, and in this regard, we note the role played by His Majesty King Mohammed VI as head of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation's Jerusalem Committee.
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.